What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Wavy. Stay Wavy TV. Subscribe, thumbs up the video, click that bell for notifications. I want to talk about GoldLink. So GoldLink, he's trending #1 on Twitter right now. It's a lot of controversy around his name. He made a very controversial post on Instagram, basically reflecting on his relationship with Mac Miller, all the way leading up to the day that he died. And this was a long post, man. This was like a 3-4 paragraph essay that GoldLink wrote to Mac Miller. And the first thing I thought when I seen that post and how long it was, I said, this is something that GoldLink wanted to get off of his chest a long time ago. And the reason why, because a lot of people are saying, why did GoldLink wait so long to say this? And I think the reason that he waited so long to say this is out of respect for Mac Miller. I most definitely think that he wanted to say this the day that he found out that Mac passed away. But I think out of respect for Mac Miller, I think that he decided to speak his mind at a better time. And, it's been like a little over a year, close to 2 years since Mac passed away. Could be longer than that. I don't really remember. But basically what GoldLink said in the post was this, okay? Mac Miller was the first mainstream artist to reach out to GoldLink, told him his music was dope. He took GoldLink on his first tour, and Mac Miller contributed to opening up the doors for GoldLink while he was an independent artist, still trying to get his name in the game, still trying to get his buzz up. And he took him on tour for Mac Miller's album called Good AM. It's actually a very dope album. By the way, Mac Miller is my favorite Caucasian rapper of all time. I like Mac Miller better than Eminem. Love Eminem, but I like Mac's music more. I gravitate towards it more. And most importantly, Mac's music is more diverse. You can really play Mac's music any time of the day. But basically, while they was on tour, GoldLink played him an album that he was releasing at the time. And he pretty much said that Mac pretty much fell in love with the album and was listening to it the entire tour. And his favorite song off the album was a song that GoldLink had with Anderson .Paak. He said that was Mac's favorite song, and he just was going crazy over it. And ironically, after GoldLink played him that album and they got off a tour, Mac Miller distanced himself from GoldLink. Mac Miller basically stopped picking up his calls, stopped responding to texts, just completely went ghost on GoldLink. And GoldLink, he went as far as to, reaching out to some friends that him and Mac Miller share. And they basically told GoldLink that, Mac did what he had to do, but if you ever need a feature, hit him up. Now, after Mac Miller went ghost on GoldLink, Mac Miller put out an album called The Divine Feminine. And ironically, the first single off of his album was a song with Anderson .Paak that sounded very similar to GoldLink's album. Now, I actually went back and I listened to that album that GoldLink was talking about. I can't remember the name because I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I did not start listening to GoldLink's music until today, okay? I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all, man. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I did not listen to GoldLink's music until today. I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all niggas, man. I've heard a few songs from him on satellite radio, but as far as me hearing an entire album, I did not listen to it until today. And I'm going to tell y'all niggas something, man. GoldLink's music is beautiful, man. The best way for me to describe that dude's music is beautiful. And when I was listening to it, I was like, damn, because I listened to The Divine Feminine when it first came out. Didn't really like it, didn't really not like it. It's just one of those albums that I just, I used to vibe out to it, but it's definitely not one of my favorite Mac Miller albums. But me going back and listening to GoldLink's album, I most definitely heard a lot of influence from GoldLink on that Mac Miller album. And for those that don't know, Mac Miller has no albums that sound anything like The Divine Feminine. This was the first project where Mac Miller decided to sing and harmonize and do that singing, popish, jazzish music. Mac Miller, don't get me wrong, Mac Miller has a lot of songs where he does sing on the hooks, but as far as like singing through the verses and all the melodies that he was using on that Divine Feminine album. You know, he even said in the interviews, you know, he was scared doing that album because he's always wanted to make an album singing, and he just was afraid to really show that side of him as an artist because, you know, Mac is known as like being like a stoner rapper, you know, a druggy rapper. So for him to step out of his comfort zone, he said it was scary. But you can most definitely hear the influence from GoldLink, man. It's almost scary how similar those two albums sound, especially with that Anderson .Paak feature. You know, the two songs both have the same bop, the same vibe. Lyrics are kind of similar. Not saying that Mac Miller was still in lyrics, but I'm just talking about the content. You know, the content of the GoldLink album was about, you know, a woman, just like the Divine Feminine was. So, you know, back to the GoldLink post, he was saying, even after Mac Miller put out that album, GoldLink and his independent label at the time, I think it's called Soulmatic or something like that, he said they supported Mac Miller, even though like they felt like he was stealing GoldLink's sound at the time. They still supported him, and you know, even after he put that album out, GoldLink said the next time he ran into Mac Miller was at Coachella, and you know, GoldLink said while he was looking at Mac Miller put his head down and was looking shy, and GoldLink walked up to him, gave him a hug, and said, "Keep your head up, bro. You know, I still got love for you. Everything's cool." So, you know, a lot of people are bashing GoldLink. A lot of people are acting as if GoldLink disrespected Mac Miller. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. I think GoldLink was very respectful. Like I said, I think this is something that GoldLink wanted to get off of his chest for a long time, but he just wanted to wait for the right moment out of respect for Mac Miller and his family because, you know, that was a tragic loss. He also said in a post that he wasn't surprised to hear that Mac Miller passed away. A lot of people are slandering GoldLink for that, but what you guys don't understand is, man, anybody that had a close relationship with Mac Miller should not be surprised that he passed away, okay? For those that don't know, Mac Miller had a serious drug problem. He talked about this in his songs. He said on a project called Faces that he was supposed to die, I think in 2013 and 2014. He has a lot of songs where he's talking about overdosing on drugs or, you know, eventually dying. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, Mac Miller's drug problem was out of control. If you guys want to be completely honest, the only reason why Mac Miller probably lived as long as he did is because of Ariana Grande. Okay, when he started dating Ariana Grande, you know, she was the one that helped him, you know, break that drug habit. He started eating healthy. He stopped the drugs as hard as he was doing it. But even Ariana Grande, she ended up breaking up with the dude because he still was relapsing and going back to the drugs, okay? You know, you guys can research all of this. I'm not making, this is all facts, okay? Ariana Grande helped Mac Miller break his drug problem, but she just couldn't deal with, she said that his drug issue was so serious that she was actually scared for the dude, man. You know, she said she was scared for the dude, and she just couldn't deal with, she couldn't deal with his drug problem, man. She said she did all she could, and she just basically said enough was enough, okay? So back to the GoldLink post. GoldLink did say that, you know, he saw Mac Miller 3 days before he passed away, and he said the first thing he noticed when he walked in Mac Miller's house was his plaque that he got for that Divine Feminine album. And for those that, you know, because a lot of people are acting like GoldLink is this bitter dude, like he's really harboring hate for this guy Mac Miller. He said that he congratulated Mac on winning a plaque for that album. And listen, man, you guys got to understand something, okay? GoldLink in this post was reflecting on his relationship with a close friend, okay? These guys were friends. All of you guys that's out here slandering GoldLink for reflecting on his relationship with Mac Miller, you guys don't know Mac Miller personally, okay? And on top of that, when you guys got to think, when GoldLink put out that album that he's talking about, he wasn't as big as an artist as he was today. Mac Miller as an artist was already solidified. So imagine if an artist that's bigger than you listens to your entire album before it even comes out and then tells you that he loves it, he falls in love with it, that's all he's playing the entire tour. His favorite song is a record that you have with Anderson .Paak. And then next thing you know, he stops talking to you. He stops answering your calls, stops replying to texts, to the point where you have to reach out to people that you and this guy both know just to get a response from him. And then next thing you know, he puts out an entire album that sounds exactly like an album that you played for him before his even came out. On top of that, this guy wins platinum plaques for this album. This guy wins awards for it. This guy has songs on Billboard charts. So you got an artist that's bigger than you, that's already solidified in the game, stealing your sound, copying your formula as far as your first single by putting Anderson .Paak on it and having the song sound very similar to the song you had with Anderson .Paak. And your album has no songs on the Billboard charts. Your album sells no copies. Your album wins no platinum plaques or gold plaques. And then Mac Miller's does. Okay, and a lot of people don't know this happens all the time. Okay, big name artists steal from artists that's not as known as them all the time, and they get no credit for it. This has been happening forever. Elvis did it. Michael Jackson did it. A lot of big name artists steal from artists that are not as big as them because they know that their fan base is going to support them, and their fan base is going to like the music, and their fan base is going to eat it up, not knowing that there's some guy that's struggling to get 1,000 people at his show for a concert so he can make a living for himself. Okay, I went back and listened to that GoldLink album. I'm a GoldLink fan. Okay, I know a lot of people aren't gonna like that. I really don't give a fuck. You know, I'm a GoldLink fan. Okay, anybody that got a problem with that, suck my dick from the bike. You know, this is my opinion. I think that his post was respectful. He was reflecting on his relationship with a close friend that helped him get to where he's at as an artist. And a lot of people are forgetting that. GoldLink paid homage to Mac Miller in that post. He paid homage. He said multiple times that he's thankful for what Mac did for his career. He was the first artist to put him on, first artist to show love. And he just was speaking on their relationship that they had while he was alive. Okay? And if they feel some type of way about that, man, you guys just gotta get rid of that emotion and think with logic. Okay, it's your boy Wavy. I'm out this bitch. Skirt.